Spoke to Scott Bates. He is president of the Center for National Policy, and I asked him about the impact of the government shutdown and the looming debt crisis.
The effects are happening now. Some Treasury yields are going up already as we speak in international markets. So this is a slow-rolling political and economic disaster that is occurring as we speak. And the closer we get to that witching hour of Thursday, the more serious the impacts will be felt.
And that impact is not going to be felt just here in the United States. It's going to be felt throughout the world.
Well, this is the problem. I mean, the United States dollar is the world's reserve currency, and contracts across the globe are tied to it. I think our international viewers know that more than anybody. And what will happen is only the world loses in the short run, but the U.S. could lose in a very big way in the very long run here from this shutdown. We've been able to borrow money, the money that we print. We're the only country in the world that's able to do that. We borrow at incredibly low levels. We are given the benefit of the doubt. We're seen as a place where investments are safe and secure. And that's because we have a stable political system. What we're watching right now is far from stable.
When we watch all this going on, there seems to be something missing here in the United States, and that is we don't see public outrage at what is going on.
I think there's befuddlement. I mean, there are various people pointing fingers at each other. This is an unclear situation, and there's so little common ground in American political life right now that it's taken as a given that by one party that the other party is at fault. And people are at a loss. They don't know what to do.
It's the blame game.
Well, that's exactly what's happening. And I think at this stage, American democracy could be the long-term loser unless those that govern us can get their act together.
The next 3 days are going to be crucial for us to see what happens. What do you think is going to happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Are we going to see some kind of compromise? I mean, certain proposals have been put on the table already. They've been rejected as well.
If I could tell you what would happen, I'd be paid $1 million as a soothsayer. But I can tell you this. The effects when the markets open on Monday are going to have reverberations felt in Washington. I fully expect that the public opinion polls that have shown the Republican brand crashing through the floor are going to have an effect on Senate Republicans and maybe those in the House. I'd expect the Republican caucus, John Boehner in particular, the Speaker, to be able to go to his membership and say, I've tried it your way, it's disastrous, I'm going to settle this thing. Now it's up to him to make that happen. And I think we're also going to see the markets, as I said, starting to go into a bit of a fall. And that's going to increase pressure from Wall Street. So two Republican core constituencies, the business constituency and the Wall Street Journal and others that opine on these things are going to be telling Republican leaders, you need to settle this.
And if the markets start heading south, that is going to be a very sobering experience for everyone concerned.
We already have the federal government effectively shut down, business impact about $1.7 billion in lost economic activity to date. That combined with the default could throw us back into recession, and people are going to feel that.
You know, much of this, in fact, most of this has to do with the Affordable Care Act. That's about health care here in the United States. It's sometimes called Obamacare. That's the president's effort to bring healthcare insurance to millions of Americans who don't have healthcare insurance at the moment. Has there ever been a precedent where one party, because it doesn't like something, a law which is already on the statute books, because it doesn't like it, wants to gut that law by defunding it, by saying we're not going to go along with it?
Well, it's a very clever strategy that the House Republicans have come up with, and I can't think of a recent precedent. There are instances where Congress effectively can't move on important issues of the day. The last one I would say was the civil rights movement. For decades, legislation could not get through the House or the Senate, depending, because of Southern reactionary members of Congress. And it took decades to move the ball. And I think what we're looking at right now is the health care law was passed essentially by one party, the Republicans not participating in it. And this will remain a battle for, I would say, decades to come.
And it's legal.
The framers designed the Constitution so government could function well, and also so that one branch could jam up the other one. I mean, Madison talked about balancing ambition against ambition, and right now we see that balance has created a deadlock.
Right, so we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks for joining us.
It's a real pleasure. Thank you.